Welcome back to the WatchTower Film Podcast, the
What's
film
so
review
good about
podcast
it?
on the Towercast Network.
Yep.
You know what's good about it? That it's by cinephiles for cinephiles,
Like us.
like yours truly. We're back.
Defiling cinema.
Week 3, Western Week.
Week 3.
Yeah. Count them.
If you haven't checked out The Searchers, Ballad of Buster Scruggs.
Ballad of Buster Keaton.
And today,
Before we introduce today's film, I got to introduce my fellow co-host, Mr. John Eric Castro, giving us an acting perspective here on my right.
I'm giving you the actor perspective, and I did not pick this film. It was a group pick.
No, it wasn't.
No, it was your pick.
It was your pick.
Nah, everybody
dude.
point and laugh.
Fine. What would
My
you have picked?
pick was Django or There Will Be Blood.
So then why didn't you pick him?
Yeah.
One of them, we said that we are going to save it.
Right.
The other one.
For marriage?
It was too racist.
No, the other one, I don't know why I didn't pick Django.
It was your choice.
Nah,
You
dude,
were given.
God.
In fact, you
Are
know
we
what's
gonna-
funny? You were given the choice on the show,
Are we really going to start with lies?
bruh. There's proof.
Show the evidence.
That's the name of their
True
band.
Grit.
True
Okay,
grit.
True Grit.
True Grit.
True grit.
All right, True Grit. It
Look
is.
at True Grit.
Stay tuned. I'm
But
kidding.
anyway, to your
Anyways,
left.
we're back. To my left, Mr. Michael Lalao, offering a
Hi.
cinematography perspective.
Beautiful.
Always watching.
Trust me, he.
The El Paso Film Festival credits him as a cinematographer and producer.
I'm going to be on a
Is this-
panel.
I'll have you know.
Is going to
I'm gonna be on 2
show
panels.
before the.
2 panels.
I think it's going to show the week of, if I'm not mistaken.
So yeah,
I don't know
promote
what
it.
week this is.
But promote
Go to the El Paso Film Festival this week, if this week is before the 26th.
Yeah. Well, these drop
September
Monday,
26th.
so I think.
I think it is. I think it's the week of. I think this
Yeah.
is week 3.
So go catch me at
go
2 panels.
catch. Yeah. Go catch the El Paso Film Festival. Starts on Thursday, September 26th. I think the first screening is at like 9 a.m.
9 a.m.
But there will be panels and screenings and films from all over the world. To include, Mr. Michael Lalao will be on a panel on Friday at 4 o'clock, cinematography panel with Craig Chartier
I think so.
from Cook Lenses, which is going to be a
And
great cinematography panel.
More importantly, the great Carlos M. De La Torre, as well as myself, and Francis Ford Coppola, and
Eller Coltrane.
Eller Coltrane.
Eller Coltrane will be coming down to the El Paso Film Festival. We'll be
Very
on a
exciting.
panel talking about the making of our film. So who is this time? More kind of
hosted
directly,
by-
it's actually about producing and directing a low-budget short film. That's what
Right.
the panel is about. It will be moderated by the great Charles Horak. He'll be the man. He'll be the man, the myth, the
Snoop
legend.
Chucky Chuck.
And introducing our other fellow co-host, Mr. Austin Young.
Here's your coffee, sir. I hope you enjoy it. Can I go sit down now?
Why is it so frothy?
That's actually more than espresso.
Touch this. Tell me it doesn't.
Tell me it doesn't feel like a car. So yeah, go to the El Paso Film Festival. Please go out and support.
Does it?
Our Saturday, his panel, the cinematography panel, will be at 4 o'clock at the Plaza Theater, Friday the 27th. Our panel will be Saturday the 28th at 1:30 at the Plaza Theater.
1:30.
And then at 3 o'clock, we have the screening of So Who Was This Time, the world premiere at the Philanthropy Theater. Go get your tickets. It's a small theater. It will sell out, I promise you. So please go get your tickets. And if you can, get a badge for the whole festival. 'Cause it's
Yeah.
fucking awesome. There's going to be VIP.
Support everybody.
Receptions and
Everybody
like
love
different venues, like the El Paso Museum of Art. They're gonna have drinks and
Nice.
food, and we're gonna have receptions at like a rooftop bar. I think there's gonna be a lot of crazy like receptions where you can network with other filmmakers and film enthusiasts. So
I know it's a weird one to also throw in there, but I just saw on the list, if you're an animation fan
Oh, what?
and you know the animator Umami, which I thought more people knew about,
Yeah,
but you know Umami makes weird animations. Well, apparently one of his films is going to be showing at the El Paso Film Festival. So yeah, like if you want to like
There's a little bit of everything.
yeah, there's going to be animation, there's going to be documentaries,
Yep.
narrative shorts. And like we talked about last week, just a great place to network with people.
Exactly.
Meet
Exactly.
actors, producers, writers, directors,
El Paso
cinematographers.
Film Festival. We'll be there the entire time.
Yeah,
hopefully.
come say hi to us.
We'll be there, like hopefully attending every block as much as we can. We really want to be there,
Thank
support
you,
everybody.
Austin.
So yeah, just a little shameless plug. Go out and support, please. And I think it's gonna be a great time, man. And it's the kickoff of So Who Was It This
Absolutely.
Time and its festival run. And we don't
We're
know
going
what
to
else.
pregame the panels, right?
We are. Hopefully by then we'll know about a couple more festivals that we can announce. In the meantime, just go check it out at the El Paso Film Festival. This week, however, on the WatchTower Film Podcast, we're talking about a remake.
19.
Of the
true remake.
1902 classic.
No.
Damn it.
It's a remake of the 1969 classic Western
Yeah, it is.
of the same name. Yeah. True Grit.
But first, it was a novel, right?
It was a novel.
Same name?
Written and published in
Googled
1968. Same
Really?
name. Same name. Written and published in 1968. Then 1969, John Wayne comes along and stars in a
Wayne.
film and wins an Oscar for it, by the way.
No way.
And then the Cohen Brothers in 2009, 2010 go on and release True Grit,
What better
starring
duo?
Jeff Bridges, Matt Damon, Josh Brolin, and the Academy Award nominated Haley Steinfeld.
At 14, but she was
At
actually
14.
13.
She was actually 13 when they made the picture. You're right. But True Grit, we're going to be talking about True Grit as part of our Western month.
Yes.
I was pushing a little bit for this film. I always remember just loving this film, being kind of shocked by it. This was when I kind of was starting to turn towards like the Coen Brothers.
Okay.
If you go to the Coen Brothers filmography,
Oh my God. Hey.
there's a lot of films you've never even heard of in the sense, right? Like everything after Raising Arizona is like, I felt like their stuff was a hit or miss for the longest time. And then we kind of got to the latter years, and
Hater
their
alert.
voice just developed so much as filmmakers, you know, that by the time late 90s, early 2000s kind of came around, they really, really started taking stride in their voice and not being so afraid to follow the form, or to go against the form, rather. But it's such a great kind of thing to have them do something like this that is probably a little more in the mainstream. This is the first film that the Coen Brothers crossed $100 million in the States. They had never made that much money in a film.
2010.
Yeah, so it kind of became a big kind of mainstream push. I mean, obviously, look at the names that are attached. But it's a great just piece of cinema that like is both an entertaining kind of popcorn flick, but at the same time, it carries a lot of weight. Great performances, great story, great execution. The cinematography really honors the Old West and Westerns, but in a very modern way as well.
Did you tell me about the El Paso Film Festival?
Huh?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I did. But anyways, yeah, True Grit. I kind of pushed Gossett on the direction when he was picking from like 5.
But let the record show that he made the final decision.
No, I did not.
He did.
I'm going to put the clip at the beginning of this episode.
Put it.
Welcome, our editor.
I did when he was here.
Yeah, he showed up. You introduced him.
But now he's by his microphone. It's almost like you reset.
Mr. Austin Young, make sure we're
It's
sounding
good-
good on the ones and twos
He
back
got
at
too
his
aroused
station.
when I got behind him.
Ah, I see. I did introduce him.
Will you close it?
Yeah, True Grit. Ladies and gentlemen, True Grit.
True Grit. This is my second time watching it.
Second
man.
time?
And it did not hold.
Oh, shit, son, really?
But first, let's go through the ratings if you guys want.
You guys want to do ratings first?
Well, because it is your pick, as the record shows, you pick who goes first. And do you want to do rapid fire, or do you
Rapid fire with a little bit of.
with a little bit of spice?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, and you have to say it in your best Western accent.
Oh,
Gotcha.
gosh.
You gotta do it in your best Jeff Bridges accent.
I am LaBouffe.
Let's start with Austin Young.
I am LaBeef.
All right.
Howdy, partners. This your moving picture. Hold on. I give it a solid 8.7.
Damn.
Thank you very much.
I think
Why
he
are your
needed
nipples that high?
No, he needed suspenders, but
Yeah.
like, he didn't say
That makes sense.
They're my suspenders, fella.
Happy Thanksgiving,
Happy
Pilgrim.
Thanksgiving, pilgrims. Where's the beef?
The beef.
I am LaBeef.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, don't the Coen Brothers usually want?
Well, first of all, it's the Coen Brothers, not the Conan Brothers. But second of all,
Conan
Cohen
O'Brien.
Stadium.
don't they what?
Dude, please take that off, bro. I get so much hate because of that. But don't they usually stick with like the dialogue perfectly? You can't be doing shit.
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
you can improv.
Yeah,
You can't. Improv.
There's no improv in Coen Brothers.
yeah. They don't no fucks with that.
I don't think I can fuck with them. Man.
Even in this scenario, right? Like, why would you? Especially in a western, right? Like,
So how could you? You like because of how dense the dialogue
yeah,
is.
for sure.
True.
tough.
That's true.
Be tough. But
So
yeah,
what was
they like to stick to the script. They're very, as I understand it correctly, they're very like to the point, to the fact like filmmakers. Like they don't have a sense of humor. At least like I've heard in person, they're like
They don't have.
they're
sense-
like deadpan, man. Like I've heard like working with them, it's not tough or they're not assholes or anything
No,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
But
but you
like
would think
you'll talk
their
to them and they're
style-
like, just do it.
Yeah.
Like I remember Jeff Bridges actually said that he said the first piece of advice the Cohen brothers gave me when working on this picture was toss the 1969 version. We're not using a piece of that. We're using the source material of the book. It's a revisitation of the book. So toss the film. Don't do anything John Wayne did. and that's, you know, I mean, like, he was like, okay. Like,
Yeah, I heard John Wayne played it a little bit less grittier.
yeah, he played it a little funnier, like a little.
Was he a
funny.
little more true?
True to what?
It was true to the
Just
grit.
true.
Just true.
Because you say he wasn't as gritty, so was he more or less
I didn't say
true?
it wasn't as gritty. I said it was just a funnier. He just played it a little more comedically, a little more lightheartedly.
So he wasn't as true.
Funny how?
But yeah, 8.7.
8.7.
Wow, that's
Why?
pretty high.
Rapid fire, let's go.
He did. He said rapid fire with a little bit of
Yeah,
spice.
what did you like about it?
A little bit of spice.
Anything amazing on the editing front?
Oh, yeah, that's a good question.
Not necessarily. Pacing was pretty well. It was a story that hooked me more than anything.
As I understand it correctly, there was no special effects really for this film, and the way they got around with like shooting the horses and some of those stunts stuff like that was literally just clever, proper editing.
Yeah, there's no CGI. The horses,
No.
for sure.
Yeah,
did.
so
Well, there
like-
is a green screen at
Wow. Yeah.
the end. Yeah.
But it was like just clever editing. Apparently, that was what they account the pacing.
Oh, yeah, the editing was
not
pretty
just
well.
pacing, but like
Pacing and-
hiding the
yeah.
practical kind of stunts and stuff like that.
Yeah. 8.7.
8.7.
Nice.
No, in your best cowboy voice at all.
Now I heard I seen some riding down the western track. I was with Carlos. We were going down on the horses, and it reminds me of my old partner back in the saddle pony of El Paseo. Yeah, he was a nice
The saddle pony.
little Indian child. I call him Little Half Squat. But good old
Squab from? Oh, it's from.
good old Half
Tropic
Squad, and
Thunder,
I
Tropic
would
Thunder.
probably rate this film somewhere in the range of like like an 8 point.
Like an 8 point? All right.
8 point.
I like
8 point even.
Is it like an 8 point?
Hot tour.
I would have hot two of the gear.
Straight 8 point.
8.0.
8.
There's no points where I'm from.
8. 8's the point.
We don't even know what a point
8
is.
is the point.
8 is a point.
8 is the point. Any reason for that?
I couldn't understand a little child that gave me the rating in the first place. But yeah. He spoke of the gibberish of the nations.
Do you need a spit
He's in
or
Choctaw
something?
country now.
Yeah, no, he's in Chick-Chock.
Hey, partner,
Okay,
you
wait,
got
wait.
a spitting
I-
cup right
Hey,
there.
man.
And now,
spent there.
and now that that's over, that is accurate only to the Western films.
Jesus.
And the gibbering of the nations was a line from the last Coen Brothers film we watched.
True.
It is.
I do not entertain the gibbering of the nations, is the way that the old trapper described it.
It's true.
Yeah, I love that.
You filthy skunk.
You measly skunk.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think 8, just because it's a well executed film. It's exactly what I love about the Coen Brothers, that they do great character building in the sense that they feel so fleshed out and full, and you really feel that these characters are real in every way, shape, and form, and they stay true. There's no kind of quivering. You don't feel like the actors have to you feel like the actors really do align with whatever they're doing. I just don't see any parts where I could say that it was reinventing anything. Maybe some it referenced again the book and other cinematic source material, but I honestly didn't feel like this one takes anything from like the classic westerns. It was very very modern in its approach for the time it was made, but very well done. So yeah, an 8, just on the dot.
Totally fair.
Okay. Good luck with your impression, buddy.
You know where I come from. We rate these pictures a little lower. We wrangle them at about a
Wrangle shit.
7.8. Yeah.
7.8.
7.8.
7.8.
And we spit our sunflower seeds at them.
You know
And,
that Sam Elliott kid.
That's really a kid.
He wants some bitch.
Also in the Coen Brothers picture.
Also in the cold as a cowboy.
That's the best part about that film. Was his involvement.
Yo mama's the best part about that film. I love The Big Lebowski.
Yeah.
Such a different role, right? Jeff Bridges playing two Coen Brothers films, and
I'll have
then
a sets be realer.
I love Sam Elliott's involvement in fucking Big Lebowski.
Yeah, it's so weird.
Same.
so
Even
cool,
towards the
man.
end.
You know, Chuck got to talk to him, right? He came to El Paso and came to the radio station and shit.
Nice.
The Man Who Killed Bigfoot. Or,
Who directed The Man Who Killed Bigfoot?
I don't know. I just know Ellery was in it
Why do they have the poster?
because they all worked on it.
They worked
I
on
think
it?
Lucky's a producer. Smatic did the sound design.
Hey, you
Zach
want to stop
edited.
messing with your mic, please?
Sorry. Zach edited. Yeah, like they all kind
Really?
of involved.
Because I know they premiered it here and Sam Elliott like came into
Yeah,
town.
they were involved.
Really? What?
Yeah. In fact, I think Chuck's listed as a producer too.
What?
Yeah, but Sam Elliott came into town for the premiere. And, yeah. Anyways,
How
Sam
about
Elliott.
that?
Yeah, I think I agree with the law. I what I appreciate about it, I'd probably give it even a little higher, maybe even a 7.9 to start, because it's not trying to be anything else, and I appreciate that. You know, we talked about the Ballad of Buster Scruggs and how there's so much left to interpretation, and that's obviously, you know, as you guys know, my favorite kind of cinema to kind of just really sink your teeth in.
Yeah, a lot to explore.
This is great because it stays true to form of a Western, but it also it's such a polished Western. It's such a polished Western, but it's really straight to the point. They're not trying to be cheeky. They're not trying to be smart. They're not trying to make you interpret anything. It's just a straight to form, true Western that has layers and has merit and has character development, but it doesn't leave you like, oh man, what did that mean? It means what it means. It's pretty straight to form, you know.
I think there's a lot to be explored, not so much in like a deeper meaning, kind of like we saw with Ballad of Buster Scruggs, because I think there's a lot of metaphorical and larger questions. But with this one, I do have a lot of questions about the character and the actors, and I really want to get your take on it, Castro.
Yeah.
I think they also blended that ability to, again, the reason I called it a popcorn flick, not in the traditional no merit kind of popcorn flick. It's something that anybody, any age, really could see. And I'm assuming I never got the chance to see this in the movie theater, so I think this is one of those perfect movie theater movies. You know, where you can go to the theaters and enjoy this fucking great Western and the action and the heart and the comedy. You know, this shit's funny in a lot of ways, but half of it is Cohen Brothers' dry humor, and half of it is actually like just straight humor.
Yeah.
So I think it's got a lot of merit in those regards. But again, it's not trying to be more than it is. I also think its analytical merit comes from historical context. Like, for instance, the thing that stuck with me this screening was the conversation that they have when they're arguing about which side of the Civil War they fought on, and that kind of brought it back to perspective on you fought in the battle of what with who, you supported that guy killed women and children, and it's like all these war stories that they would tell each other so that they could hate the opposite side of the war, you know. And it's great, man. Like those, I think historically it holds merit. I was also reading that the Judge Parker that they kept mentioning was an actual judge.
I love that.
In Arkansas, and his nickname was Hanging Judge Parker. And that's why there's a ton of hanging mentioned and shown.
Yeah, and then also it's kind of like I love that line, the little girl and that main bad guy they have that exchange at the very end of the movie.
Josh?
Yeah.
Or which one?
Yeah,
I
Josh
forgot what
Brolin's
his name
character.
is, but he says like, "Oh, I can get you a good lawyer," and he's like, "I don't need a good lawyer. I need a good judge," because it was just so common that if you get a
Not
bad
Brolin's
judge,
character though.
and I mean, it's interesting. But
Lucky something.
you hear a lot about that, and then you also see, another mention of that idea that, back in that time, there were people that just said, no, if somebody is bad enough, we'll hang them, and, it doesn't matter what they are.
And I think that's what the first hanging we see tells you. Like, one of them says, I shot the wrong man, and the other one says, if I would have had a better upbringing, and he's the one kind of crying, and the other one's
the
just
poor
like,
Indian guy and what I have to say, and they just, that's so sad.
But again, historically, right? They held no value. Their words weren't worth as much as the two white men. I think historically it holds a lot of great context, and again, the reason I think it's so polished is because they stay true to form of the times. Like, for instance, something that people don't really notice in this case is I was reading there's no traditional as we know them cowboy hats, because they didn't exist yet. You know what I mean? Like the Texas Ranger is the only one that has something similar to that.
Yeah,
but it's not quite the cowboy hat we know. You know,
True.
It's none of them are. They're old, kind of transitioning into British influence and new frontier stuff. I mean, it's right past the American Revolution. It's right past the Civil War. So it's not that far off. Our country is 100 years old at that point. You know,
What year does this one take place in?
it's after Civil War, so after 1835, what 1850 maybe
44.
19.
How do you
maybe
know all
early
these
19.
years? Did you study this?
Kind of
He's
had to get a degree with it.
He's a history guy.
So late 19th century, mid 19th century.
Okay.
But anyways,
Yeah.
I think that's part of the reason why it's so polished, because the stuff that nobody cares about, nobody really pays attention to, feels authentic. It authenticates the film when you're making a picture, a period picture. Anyway, so I'm at about let's call it a 7.9. It does hold a lot of merit, but it's not trying to be more than it is, and I respect that a lot.
7.9? 7.9, 8.
I think it was 8.6.
8.7.
8.7.
8.7.
My bad. Partner.
Where are you at?
Man.
Second screening.
Second-
I've seen this thing at least 5 times, man. I really do love watching it. It's one of those replayable films for me. Like, just
My second screening, I'll give it a 7.5. And
Okay.
obviously, because I already knew what's going to happen, it was kind of slower this time. But obviously, like the Cohen brothers, I love their character development, right? I love Jeff Bridges. You could kind of see that, he's this drunk, old, bitter guy
Yeah.
who, not like his whole arc, right? Towards the end, you could see that, he shows a little bit of love for.
right.
But, and then Matt Damon's character, obviously, we could talk about his character right now, about his performance, but Haley Steinfeld, dude.
What do you think?
The girl?
And that's where you I think it's the Western. They did it a little bit different. You have a 14-year-old protagonist, kind of smart, controls the whole thing, right?
Yeah, absolutely. What a lot of people thought were interesting about her getting an Academy Award nomination is that, sure, she's 14, cool. This was also her first film ever.
What?
A theatrical debut. But what's weird about it is she has the most screen time, and she can very well be argued to be the lead of the picture. She got nominated for Best Supporting Actress. So a lot of people had a lot of problem with that. It's like,
Because even like in the poster, you would think that she'd
hold more prominence, right?
or she's a side character that's kind of like the what do you call, just meant to be she kind of tags along and everything, but yeah,
The only thing that justifies that a little bit for me is that it's kind of like those old books, right? Like an old Western, in the sense that she's not telling her story per se. She's telling the story of a rooster and of the beef.
Right.
She's telling their story. It's her recounting of this. So, that kind of justifies it a little bit for me, that it's about them. So they're kind of the
because
stars of the
I
picture.
think this story is about their own personal growth, right? It's not like she doesn't change, and even after she gets older and loses an arm, her character's kind of like,
that's life.
that's life,
what happens.
and I never had time to romanticize it, and I never settled down, and I was always just kind of a very stubborn person that what I wanted I got, and like not an
Are you saying that in the sense that did she ever grow?
Yeah, there's
as a
no
person?
development. She's
That's absolutely
she
true.
is very much a plot device to help move things forward.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I think that's probably why she's earned a supporting role. But I also will say that they do lean into her a lot. You could tell that the Coen brothers really were like a lot of her reaction shots, a lot of her.
She's us, right? I mean, she's witnessing all this and she's driving the story forward.
Yeah.
15,000 little girls auditioned for this role, and Haley Steinfeld won out.
Really?
Yeah, 15,000 was the submission count.
Gosh.
And she must have done something really special.
I
I will
think she
say
just-
I have been a bit underwhelmed with her career.
Yeah,
And she
same.
didn't make bad choices. I don't think. I honestly do think that. Like, for instance, like
I don't even-
the Transformers offshoot, was it Bumblebee or what was it called?
She came out of that.
She did pretty good in that. I will say. And I think people in her position have to do that first. Like, I loved Edge of 17. Edge of 17 was fucking great. I loved
She
Begin
was Gwen
Again.
Stacy?
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
I love Begin Again. If you haven't seen Begin Again, I think it was the immediate film she did after this one. It's a film with Mark Ruffalo where
Oh
she
my
plays
god,
the
she
daughter.
did Charlie's Angels. No.
The new one.
Get away from that.
But she did she did Begin Again, which I really, really love.
Perfect.
It was right after this film, if I'm not mistaken. Oh yeah, I forgot she did Romeo and Juliet.
She's been around though. Huh?
Yeah, she did a film called Begin Again with Mark Ruffalo that I really fucking love. She plays his daughter. It's so good. It's 2013 with Keira Knightley. And
Oh, yeah, I've seen this
It's
one.
a little indie. It's
Yeah, he's a music
really
producer.
good.
And yeah.
Most Def. You remember
Yeah.
Most Def comes out and shit. Anyways, my point is, I pass those kind of indies, like, and she didn't do the wrong thing. The problem is she got started so young. So, like, I think people in her position, like, I think about Anthony Ramos a lot. Anthony Ramos is making all the right decisions for his career. They're not the best films, but they're popcorn flicks that are going to get him a lot of recognition. So in 2 years, he can do whatever he wants.
Who's Anthony Ramos?
From Hamilton, In the Heights.
Oh, that kid.
That kid. So he did those two great things, right? And then he went on to do like Twisters. He did one of the Transformers films. So he kind of took that route. He's also a musician, so he's been making records. But I think in a few years, I saw him in Dumb Money. He was in Dumb Money. He did a lot of those kind of bigger, notable films. So that I think that's the smart thing for an actor of that young.
Yeah,
is
so
to
that
do
way
those-
later on, if you want to make the, I guess kind of like you want to experiment
Yeah.
or you want to like grow in different pathways, you can, but you'll have a little bit of backing.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. And even what's this guy? The Twisters, Glenn Powell. He's doing something pretty right. He's a little older. He's been in the game a little longer. He's been Linklater's guy since like what is it?
He was in Dark Knight.
Yeah. He did that
Oh,
baseball
yeah.
picture, the Linklater baseball flick.
Wasn't he also in Top Gun?
Gotta have it. They call it like the spiritual
Yeah.
sequel to Dazed and Confused. I think everybody's got to have it. Everybody wants them. It's called Everybody Wants Them, and that was Glenn Powell's kind of big breakthrough. But again, now he's one of the top stars of like right now. He did Twisters. He did the Hitman.
I read a little
he's-
interview where he said that since he's now in this position, he's barely realizing that he's not going to take it for granted.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, I'm going to give it 100%
Because
for
he's
every
been
movie.
in this game a long time. He just in indies for Linklater. He didn't really do the big star thing till recently.
I think the one that blew him up was that one he did with Something Sweetie.
Yeah, the Netflix
Anyone
little
but you.
rom-com thing. Yeah, but again, you see, that's smart. To me, that's what an actor should do. As shitty as it is, directors don't get to do shit like that. Directors don't get to like, oh, I'm gonna direct the big picture and then I'll get to do the indie. That's not how it works for
Yeah.
directors. But actors will be like, if the more reputable you are, the more you can select your films later.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a weird balance, and I think Haley Steinfeld is doing that. So I'm curious to see where she's gonna go, but I'm not particularly overwhelmed with her career. I think she could be doing more.
Yeah, because I didn't know this is 2010 and I don't really remember many of her films.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, what, she's 28, right? 14 years ago?
Yeah.
And I told you the same thing happened to Josh Hartnett.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
said
it's a
that
really
he was
good
just
point.
getting these roles and he just didn't know where to go with it.
Yeah.
And then, so he kind of semi-retired and then came
I
back.
also feel bad, man. I heard Trap sucked.
It's bad, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, he did a great job. I mean,
did
that's why
good.
people are going to go
He
watch
did
it.
good. Well, hopefully this kind of reboots his career a little bit too. But anyways,
Yeah.
yeah, I think Haley Steinfeld could be doing a lot more, man. I think she's
Well, right now
extremely
she's trying to
talented.
take some like conservative like roles. A lot of these like voice acting ones on big
Yeah.
franchises. Like
She's
the whole-
also, it's also important to note, she's also a musician. She's actually a very successful musician.
See, I don't know this about her.
Oh no, yeah, she's a pop star, dude. Like she's actually pretty like notable as a pop star. But the last good thing I saw of hers was Edge of 17. Edge of 17 was fucking phenomenal. And then I think Woody Harrelson is her co-star on that shit. It's fucking great, man. But yeah, in this picture, she took reign. You're right. She owned it. She owned this movie.
I mean,
as
maybe
a
because the
performer.
script warranted, right? But
Yeah.
she did.
No, but imagine, man. Imagine being up against two of the best actors in the world, Jeff Bridges and Matt Damon, and holding your own. That's fucking
Yeah.
tough, dude.
And
Also-
just in the whole universe of that picture, right? I mean, she's this little girl in the, in the men's world,
Yeah.
right? You
Yeah,
got
for
Jeff
sure.
Bridges, who's just this guy, this lawman, this Matt Damon. It was,
And I think that's where her art comes in. I think the art comes in ultimately in like this strong-willed personality. This whole situation made her even more strong-willed because that's just how the world is.
I don't agree.
No?
in
I
what way?
don't.
In what way?
I think that when you look at her dialogue and you look at a lot of the beats and a lot of this kind of like where her will's at the very beginning
Revenge.
is where you see her on her horse, little Blackie, and trying to get across the river. And as stubborn as she is, and as much as she's like, hey, she could drown, and Jeff's kind of watching her like, is this girl gonna like freak out and realize that this is too hard? And no, the entire time you see her like standing true to that.
Yeah.
I think every moment after that, I mean, it feels like the same kind of tenacity. I don't
I
feel
don't
like
disagree with you that she's a plot device for the film. I just feel like what convinces me a little bit more that she does have an arc in life is she lost a lot, right? She never saw these men again. But one of the shots actually that caught my attention the most this screening was the parallel of the coffin from when she's burying her dad to where she's reburying Rooster. It's a glimpse. It's a blip. It's a 3-second shot when they're loading in the casket into the train. And it says the name of the dad, and it says the name of, because he was a father figure ultimately.
Yeah.
He defended her. He looked out for her. He taught her, And that's the only thing that I'm like, oh, that's how much she really cared about the man. But when she gets to the traveling circus or whatever, and the guy doesn't get up from his seat.
What?
That's a big component of, like, she didn't lose the strong will of men who were going to look down on her.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty good.
But she was, I just don't feel like there was a moment where we saw
growth or change.
Yeah, like I think the arc would have been seeing a moment where she's still scared, but overcomes it. And in
the arm thing, right? She had to go through life like this, and she's still.
I guess so. I think there
I'm
could
with
be.
you. It's not.
There could be an
100%.
implied growth on her character.
Yeah, true.
The whole thing of, like, again, you do see signs of weakness when it comes to, like, the whole snake thing, really depending on somebody else to kind of come and save her.
And he does.
Yeah, and
That's
does.
the end of the picture, right? She could not defend for herself in this situation, and he works his ass off so that she makes it to get saved.
Yeah.
But I guess it's more like his, not hers.
I know. I'd argue that in that collection of scenes where she's at her most vulnerable, what the fuck's she gonna do? Talk her way out of this one?
Exactly.
She can't.
Yeah.
She has to depend on this figure that she has learned to depend on.
And that's what I was gonna bring up to talk on Jeff Bridges, because I feel like those other characters and Matt Damon, those arcs are, I guess, broader strokes.
Absolutely,
you can see
absolutely.
them.
Jeff Bridges.
And I was gonna ask you, like, how did you feel with his character? I guess like the way it comes across, like you're playing this guy who, he kind of, I don't even know how you describe his initial character. Kind of like just this jaded, bona fide badass who can go into situations, kill whoever, and thinks that nothing affects him. And I guess at the very end, we see this softening that now he's like...
He cares for someone.
Yeah, he's not doing it for money. He's not doing it for any type of glory. He's doing it because he genuinely wants to make sure that this little girl is okay.
Although I'd say that there is sprinkled character traits that he was always the guy with the heart of gold. Because despite the arguments he gets into with LaBeef, he still defends him in a gunfight. He still looks out for him. He still looks out for the best interest of the girl, makes sure that she looks away in certain instances, make sure that she doesn't know about certain things. So I feel like he always had that heart of gold.
Yeah, we catch little glimpses of it.
I also feel like once they start traveling together and he accepts the fact that this chick's just along for the ride, he starts getting very personal very fast. And that I think it has very little to do with the alcohol. He's like, well, my second wife, Deborah, would be this and this and this. And she'd say...
it could contribute.
No, but
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, you also... We saw more of those drunken parts, I think, when they were all traveling together the second time around.
Right.
Yeah,
But like that first time around...
He was just like lonely and getting personal.
And just like at the
know.
beginning towards the end, you could see on the cards where he says, I'm just getting fatter. And
Yeah.
So it's kind of giving you a glimpse that, hey, this girl kind of, she's listening.
Yeah. He also kind of tells her his life story.
Exactly.
Like, I was in Texas and I opened a restaurant, but it was tough to find good help. And she's like climbing a fucking tree and he's just going on and on and on. I think he's just lonely. But I do think, there's a heart and sense of him, but he's always shown a heart of gold if you really pay attention.
Yeah,
but how did you take that? How did that?
No, I mean, I love his character, his arc, his whole growth on it. Obviously, at the beginning, you can see he's just a little bit reckless, right? You can see he's a lawman that has been doing it for way too long. But like you said, you can see the sprinkles on him when she's trying to do the horse thing. You can see like, all right, you can kind of tell like something happens. I might help her or not, but she's trying to prove to me. But I just think like I love the whole growth where she cares about him, about her, right?
Yeah.
Would it be too cliche? I ask myself this because again, we all agree it's a great film and there's enough substance to dictate this as cinema, to deem this worthy of cinema. But would it have been too much of a cliche? I feel like if I would have explored a film like this, I would have loved to go way deeper into the dynamic. Like, screw the girl. Let's explore LaBeouf and Cogburn and why they were on opposite sides of the war and why it mattered and what values they hold. And like these two have to go over the criminal. Oh,
I have a note on that. I think that very similar to like Ballad of Buster Scruggs and these short little pocket stories, by not giving away all the details, but giving away just enough, that adds to them feeling more real. I think by Cockburn and LaBeouf, like always like having mystery behind them and also but still giving enough details that that there was a war and that they were on different sides and their position, their titles, and the little character details we could see in like LaBeouf's always like, oh well, that's just what the Texas Ranger does, and then Cockburn's always just kind of like, hey, you know what, I handle situations the way I handle them.
I wonder how much of an homage, I didn't read anything on it, but how much of an homage that was paying to the Searchers.
Yeah,
that's exactly what was happening in the Searchers.
Yeah,
like,
you don't need all the
argument
details.
in the dining kind of table where they're talking about like, what side of the war were you on, and Yankee money, that. Yeah. So I think that's pretty cool. But yeah, I think you're right.
I think that adds to realism because I think
I don't think it adds to the realism as much as it adds to like the mystery of their characters.
Yeah,
but I would have liked to. I'd like to see a film like that where two people on the opposite sides of states' rights and slavery and
had to go on a journey together.
I feel like something like that exists somewhere.
Yeah,
The Hateful Eight touches on it a little bit, but I feel like something like that should exist. Does it exist?
Coming together.
Am I thinking of is there no film set post Civil War Reconstruction era, 1865, 1870, where two soldiers on opposite ends of the Civil War have to come together to do something? This touches on it, but I'd like to see more.
Lincoln.
Yeah.
Captain America Civil War.
Captain America Civil War. There you go.
Anyways.
Castro, I have a question.
What's up?
Wait, Castro, I have a question.
Well, before I say that,
yes,
one of my favorite scenes when I think it just kind of demonstrates everything about Jeff Bridges' character is when he's carrying her.
Yeah.
It just shows you that no matter how, ruthless, whatever.
Still softy.
Yeah. Under those men, there's always that soft, that they're trying to prove something, whether you know it or not. And I think that development of the character showed it right there once he drops. Yeah. Finally gave her to safety.
Oh yeah, and I mean like even riding the horse, and it's like, oh, the horse is going too hard, and it's like the horse doesn't matter, and like just pushing it till it dies.
Yeah.
And then just being like, and I'm still gonna keep going.
Exactly.
Oddly enough, one funny thing about that is
they killed the horse.
Hold on, let's explore that a little bit. What do you think that is? You think
the shooting of the horse?
No. Him going through it. Oh man, I want to sound sexist, but is that a man thing?
No, I think it's care. I think
because I know women would do it too, right? But I mean, is it more of a?
I think there's like a hero's archetype, the person who is willing to sacrifice all in the name of good. And when you think about both of their characters, Bridges' character and Matt Damon's character, at the end of the day, whatever they were fighting for and whoever they were going with, whether it was right or wrong, they both believed that they were serving this ultimate good and that they are the ultimate good.
Think about the courtroom scene, right?
Yeah.
What do we see Cogburn fight against? They try to pin him as this gun-crazed fool who just shoots everybody, and he's like, no, I keep count. I've killed 23 men. They all had a reason. They all came at me with an axe or with this or with that. And they all were fucking bootleggers and selling alcohol to Cherokees and doing this and doing that. Like they were all doing something wrong.
Yeah.
So he was constantly. He had to prove himself to us first. Like, okay, this is a righteous guy. I'm going to root for him because he is trying to go for the right thing.
Yeah. And even when he was going and killing like the other guys that were all just showing up,
they were all like on bounty or like
they're on bounty and stuff like that. And I feel like at the end of the day, regardless of however they feel like who's right and who's wrong, I think it goes to Bridges' character being like, I do this because, like, or I joined the Rangers or the Force or whatever because I wanted to be a good man helping the good.
He's a U.S. Marshal.
Life, maybe some stuff kind of went wrong, but this is like...
I'm a Marshal, like,
Yeah. He's a Marshal. Damon's character is a Texas Ranger. They're both thinking... Again, again, dude, this is why I think it goes deeper because
that's what I'm trying
even militaristically, they think they're on the right side of the law. They think they're on the right side of the coin.
The war.
But at least as a marshal and as a Texas Ranger, the right side is the right side. There's no, you know what I mean? And there's corruption, but there's no corruption that they care about. They care about doing the right thing. I will say this is a monkey wrench that I've been thinking about. Because I remember the carrying and the line that he said is he's like, I've gotten too old when he like finally falls and he shoots the gun in the air. The funny component about this is even from the original True Grit, John Wayne and Jeff Bridges were both in their 60s when portraying these characters. In the book, Rooster's like 40. And they're kind of like in that age range. Rooster and LaBeef are supposed to be around the same age. Okay? They're supposed to be 55-ish.
I can see them maybe Matt Damon a little bit older.
They're kind of trying to match that. But the monkey wrench I'm talking about is this a question of age? Because it seems like after this mission, Rooster said, fuck this. I'm out. I'm going to go do something fun. I'm going to go join a circus and be a quick shooter or whatever. Yeah, right? So I wonder if it's also a question of age. Like, what am I fighting for?
That's what I was trying to get to.
Is this the final kind of stretch? I'm getting old. I've fought the long, hard, good fight. I fought the good fight long enough. Let me just go do some. Let me go lay under my olive tree. I also wonder if it's
not kind of like, maybe I've done some things wrong in my life, but this is my last true
redemption
of
type of thing.
This is all
very possible.
Yeah,
very possible that contributes to part of his arc because, they did write to each other on what he ended up doing, and he didn't end up staying on any side of the law. He just went to go have fun. And then what I love is that the circus kind of wrangler or whatever said, we had some lively times. It means he had a good time. It means he enjoyed his life towards the end, That says a lot. Because Rooster wasn't... That. You didn't like that?
I didn't like that she said that too.
Well, because they did.
I mean, I think it's just to say, like...
It was not good times.
It's...
Lively
they don't know.
times.
They don't know each other's like past and history,
right.
And I think they're both just trying to like say in that moment, like
he's a good man.
He's a good man, and I'm gonna have memories that'll stick with me for the rest of my life about him. And I think that's what it was. The parallels of like her
lively
saying
also doesn't mean good. Lively means lively, right? Lively means
I
felt
knew him when he
alive.
was
True. He could have said another word that would have pissed me off a little bit more.
Yeah,
he probably meant to like we had a blast, man. We drank and we ran around.
And her, she's just talking about like
I went on an adventure with him. Like
True.
It's really interesting. But again, I think it kind of closes up the arc of Rooster in the sense that.
And what about LaBeef?
I think him again. It's that whole hero's archetype of like, I'm just gonna do good up to the last breath. Yeah. And I mean, he gets knocked down by a rock, gets back up, and then Jeff Bridges goes and takes her. And then it's like, wait, what about him? And he's like, we'll see.
He fell for a few minutes, but not even that was
and
long
then like he gets back up and he's like, all right, I might die, but we'll see you guys. And like he just kind of like almost like dies in honor. Like he did that last good thing, and then
I also feel like that last arc though almost comes when they have the fight on the campfire, and he basically says like, "I'm finished, man. Like, look at me. Like, I'm going back to Texas. Like, I cannot continue this." But the arc comes in where he like, "I misjudged you as well. I extend my hand to you," and he's fucking spanks her.
He treats her like a small child.
Like a small child, and then
like if I hit you long enough, you'll learn to go back home.
Because I think that's the difference, right? I think Matt Damon's a little bit more straightforward than this guy. This guy's just been doing it for too long. I do it the way I do it. And this guy's still
and he's a little more by the book.
Yeah,
maybe. I think it's good.
Big question I want to ask, and I don't think I've asked this before, but I think it's a really interesting opportunity. Let's pretend another actor is going to be going into like the Jeff Bridges role. What's advice that you give to them on how to execute a role like that? Something that's very stoic, but it does have its comedic beat. Something that's very to the period. Like, I know yourself, like you say, like, oh, I enjoy doing this kind of role because of X, Y, and Z. Like, I love the dialogue or I love this. But how do you help somebody really fit into that?
Ooh, dude, I would dive, just like Carlos does. I would make him watch Clint Eastwood, John Wayne movies, get with the director, flirt with your ideas, and go from there.
Do you feel like there's a moment when it comes to like flirting, especially like I know we talked about Cohen's
Because every
being
actor comes with their own stuff, right? It's until you talk to the director, you read the script, that you're like, okay, I got to change some stuff and do this stuff.
I like Tarantino's advice in those scenarios is that Harvey Keitel taught him a big lesson on Reservoir Dogs.
Oh, I think
that
I
he
read this.
basically says something to the effect of, whenever your actor comes in, let them do it their way first.
Yeah.
Because he's like, an adjustment is easy. But they worked on their thing for however long.
I saw,
You know?
was it him?
I think it was Tarantino for sure.
there's a
I
couple
wonder if it
actors that
was.
said the
I wonder if
same
it was Keitel. I think it was Keitel that taught him that lesson. Like, or somebody in that vein was like, let the actor do their thing first.
Right.
They've been working on their thing. You picked them for their thing. Let them do their thing first. Adjustment is the easiest thing in the world. But if you put something in their head before the first take,
Exactly.
you're gonna fuck it up.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty genius. I
Yeah.
think like somebody like Jeff Bridges, you don't fuck with like, or anybody in this role, right? I would probably like you say, what are your ideas? How do you see this character? I picked you for your performance ability,
Exactly.
and your choices. What are you going after?
It kind of goes with Quentin Tarantino when he hired Jamie Foxx. We always talk about the Howard Stern interview, where it's like, okay, you came in thinking you were gonna be this hot shot,
Don't do that.
slave. Don't do that. But he let him do his thing, right?
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
Jamie Foxx. He got it out of him, and then he
He
adjusted
came
to
in
him.
like cool Django, and then he's like, you're a slave.
Yeah, you can't be this
You
badass
can't be
cool.
That was the story of Django. Like, take one day one, it comes in, I'm a fucking badass gunslinger, and then like,
What are you doing?
cut! And then like Tarantino's like, you're a slave. You're not cool. You're not
Like right
fucking,
into the middle, like you're asleep. What is this?
Like,
I'm not
what do you
even-
do? So
Wow.
it's important, man.
So
It's
yeah,
nuts.
yeah. I mean, I don't know if that's really good advice, but I've gotten that advice from Carlos where like watch, like in this part, a Western.
yeah.
Watch the ones that have done it the best, right? Clint Eastwood, John Wayne, maybe a little bit more modern stuff, and then yeah, just to the script, to the director, and then flirt with it.
Yeah, once you do that enough, and there's never enough. Once you do that enough for the role, you start getting 5 seconds from this performance. That means something.
and then,
30 seconds.
And
from
then
this
I've also
performance,
heard
that
this from artists, even musicians, and even like artists,
Yeah.
drawers, or anything. Everybody starts copying a little bit off of whoever they admire. You know,
means emulation.
Emulation, yeah. It's not, you know, that you're copying 100%, but you're trying to find your style, your own way of creating your own, you know, performance. So I think that's a good start, right? Get a little bit of Clint Eastwood, get a little bit of John Wayne, get a little bit of this is a little bit you know, right?
I would say inform it, right? But
Yeah.
But figure out if they mean anything for the character.
Yeah,
right?
that's when you go with the script and see. But yeah, I think that's the best advice I could give right now.
Yeah. And is there a role out of all these that you feel like is the go-to? Is it just Jeff Bridges off the bat, or do you feel like there's another couple of characters you'd like to jump into?
Nah, the more I've grown, dude, I could flirt with Josh Brolin's character.
Tom Chaney. Barry
Matt
Pepper's
Damon, I
character,
don't
man.
know.
Lucky Ned. I
don't
really
know.
like Lucky Ned's character.
Yeah, same. I've seen him in other stuff. I forget.
What else has he been in? What else has Barry Pepper been in, Austin?
He's
Josh
always like-
Brolin's interesting because it's so small.
Yeah.
and he had to gain weight
And he
for this
got
role.
top billing, by the way. He
Huh?
got fucking top billing.
Really?
Yeah, he got
paid?
He got top billing. He's in fucking Saving Private Ryan, dude.
There we
That's
go.
what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that he's on the poster and he comes out for like 5
Yeah,
minutes.
he comes out an hour and a half into the picture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. And he wasn't Josh Brolin yet. So I wonder what happened. I don't know.
But yeah, that's interesting. I would go Jeff Bridges, Josh Brolin. If I could pull off the 14-year-old girl, I would.
Or you made a face about Matt Damon. What do you feel about his
Is
character?
it
I don't know
'cause
if he
it's
was
Matt Damon?
miscasted.
Oh, no, really? I don't
No,
think
I
so.
liked him. I liked him.
I don't think so.
I don't know if they didn't use him enough.
I don't know. I disagree.
Wow.
You saw Oppenheimer, right?
Yeah.
Do you remember Matt Damon in Oppenheimer?
Yeah.
I feel like he played a similar role.
Yeah.
It's very
Straight to
hey,
the book.
I believe in authority and I believe in the facts
and I
and that's
got
how
it.
it is.
Yeah.
And then when people go against him, he's like, "Oh, well, forget you." And then he goes off and be's like stubborn Matt Damon somewhere else. But
But
I feel like every
slow down,
pretty
slow down. I
Oppenheimer.
can't you guys let you guys talk about my boy like that? Because,
Okay, well, wait.
Because that's also not a typical Matt Damon role.
what's a typical
but
Matt Damon role?
I mean,
name one movie he's not stubborn
dude,
in.
have you seen? No, it's not about stubbornness. It's think of Good Will Hunting, of Rounders. Think of
Stubborn.
the Talented Mr. Ripley. No.
Talented Mr. Ripley.
No, man, no. That's a more
No, but I see where
Matt
he's going
Damon.
with, like,
but
this
something
one was
like
just-
this, LaBeef and the Oppenheimer thing,
Dad, we bought a zoo.
a figure of authority is not an inherent Matt Damon thing. It really isn't. That maybe started happening after the Jason Bourne films, but that's not. You don't think of Matt
I
Damon.
love that he's
You don't think of Matt Damon and think authority. You think of Matt Damon and think fucking genius kid who does this, that, or the third. You don't think
The
of him
Martian,
and think, yeah, exactly. You think of him as like the nerd who does good. You don't think of him as a figure of authority. So though I agree with you that the roles are very similar, I think that's what challenges Matt Damon to be like this figure who's not inherently Matt Damon.
I also feel like I kind of agree with Castro. Like everybody else really throws me into the time period, and Matt Damon feels like a sore thumb. But I think
Really?
that's intentional only because when you look at like Jeff Bridges and everybody else he's talking to,
Well, for one, they're from Arkansas, right? He's a Texan. That's
yeah,
part of it.
exactly.
Yeah, the
So that's
yin and
why
the
I was
yang.
like, I think that that's intentional. That when you look at Matt Damon, he just looks like he's from
He
somewhere
looks
else.
like a foreigner.
Yeah, he looks
Yeah.
like a foreigner. So when he's trying to like talk about like, hey, you know what? That's just what the Texas Rangers
Yeah,
do, and if you don't
yeah.
get it, you're just not from the South. And it's like, okay, dude.
But that's again, dude.
again,
Again, it
it
feeds
really-
into that
It feeds into the story, but I don't know.
I'm from the South and I'm on the right side of the equation, and we're tougher than you. And
Yeah.
I think this is where its merit lies, is the historical context of their characters. I think Matt Damon was perfectly cast. I really do.
I think his name alone just kind of overshadowed his
Do you
character.
feel like that?
Kind of like,
I think if you switched around Matt Damon and Josh Brolin,
maybe.
no,
Nah,
because then
Brolin's
you
a-
see the star
Nah,
an hour and a half
Brolin's
into
a
the
good-
picture.
He's got that perfect villain.
Yeah.
I think they could have dirtied him up a little bit. I just think I don't know.
It would have been a different
I-
Matt Damon. for sure.
I look at Jeff Bridges in this film, and I think he played it perfectly. I couldn't see anybody else doing it. Haley Steinfeld, again, somebody who really fit the role of this like stubborn 14-year-old, but was willing to do whatever it takes to avenge her father's death.
I just think
I
of Matt
think you
Damon.
couldn't replace Matt
and
Damon.
Like,
Yeah.
we talked about The Departed a lot, right? And we talked about how he's this kid in The Departed his role is a kid seeking approval from a father figure, right? And like, he's also like playing the role of the righteous cop.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But he's playing both sides of the equation, right? In this scenario, he's a straight shooter. He's a good guy.
Okay, well, compare this one to like Dad, We Bought a Zoo. Like, what righteous?
We bought a zoo.
Yeah.
What meaning? What righteous? He was a good dad who bought a zoo. What the fuck do you? What?
He's
How much more
protecting-
righteous can you get?
He's defending him 100%.
It's a
even the
good
trans
dream.
This
ones.
is your dream, dad, or what is it?
It's like you can't just give somebody your dream, Dad.
It's a good dream.
Yes, I can. Because it's a good dream.
Come on, man.
What
Fuck
about
you guys. I love Matt Damon.
Invictus or whatever the fuck
Why
that
don't you
was.
marry
I
him?
fucking will. And then ask him about Good Will Hunting.
Sorry, Sandra.
I love Matt Damon. I think he doesn't
Nah,
get
same
enough
with me.
credit.
But I mean,
I think he doesn't get enough credit because like Brad Pitt says all the time like or Leo, like, yeah, they always confuse me for Matt Damon. He's like those three.
Leo. I always for
Mark
a while.
Wahlberg. Sandra still does.
Yeah.
It's
Mark
a very,
Wahlberg
it's a very
and
honest
Matt.
mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like anytime we watch The Departed, like The Departed will be on TV and Sandra will be like, "Which one's the one that shoots in the end?" That's Marky Mark. She's like, okay, Marky Mark. Like it's
Marky
like-
Mark and the Funky Bunch.
I didn't realize. I'm sorry. This is gonna be such a side note. I didn't realize that we have a Wahlburgers in Redoso.
Oh, we do? It's
I
close.
didn't
Yeah.
It's
So
worth
you
it.
said that I didn't know.
Yeah.
I've
It's
been to
in-
the Vegas one.
Is it good?
Yeah.
It's very good.
Like I had to do a gig at Inn of the Mountain Gods, and inside Inn of the Mountain Gods they have a Wahlburgers with a cutout of Mark Wahlberg and like the whole family.
Oh, good. Because you know
Yeah.
what, Sandra's like
It's a
one of
family
Sandra's favorite
business.
traditions, or like on her birthday, used to be going to the buffet at Inn of the Mountain Gods, which I
Yeah.
don't think exists anymore.
No, it does.
Oh, it does. Okay.
Yeah, they added a whole new section with like a
Oh,
Starbucks
okay.
and all
yeah,
that.
you see, that's cool.
Yeah.
that's cool to go.
So if you go
explore.
there, go and I was trying to tell my my friend, I was like, you should get a Wahlburger and then be feeding it to Matt Damon.
Yeah, Matt
and
Damon.
like, yeah, Matt Damien.
to feed it to Matt Damon.
And then I was telling her that like you should get like a fry and dip
Mark
it.
Wahlberg. It's called Wahlburgers.
Took me a while.
Yeah. Anyway, so go up to Marky Damon.
There's a cutout of Matt
Yeah.
Damon.
Oh my God. You know what? We should do that. I should just sneak in a cutout of like Matt Damon and have it next to
dude.
Mark Wahlberg and see how many people take a picture of themselves next to that. No, but go up to Mark
Speaking of
Wahlberg,
This man, dude.
and what you do is you dip your fry in, and then you like put it on his lips. You know, like
Smear it.
like a French fry lipstick. And then say like, "Ooh, I'll get that off for you." And then yeah, I had a whole fantasy prepared.
You're right.
I didn't eat there.
I just
So
screened,
anyway,
they just
Matt
introduced
Damon-
the film. They just introduced the film that inspired The Talented Mr. Ripley. Apparently, The Talented Mr. Ripley is a novel from the 50s that like has been made a lot.
Yeah.
And there's been like 4 remakes of that film. But the original film, it's called, in the English translation is called Purple Noon. It's a French film.
I like it.
But it's so fucking good, dude. It's like
darker?
a 1960s film. It's way darker.
Oh, I love it. That's all you
But
gotta
like
say.
I was talking to Chuck about it. He screened it for me, and he's like, we were talking about it. I was like, dude, I think the only interpretation of the story I've seen is the Matt Damon one. And he's like,
Out of
that's
the 4?
probably the first one, the worst one.
The worst one?
Yeah. So like
What?
you got to see Purple Noon, dude. Like as
Purple
an
Noon.
actor's piece, it's fucking incredible.
download
It's
it for sure.
And then Chuck really reveres its cinematography and the blazing sun in Italy. That it's so good. I won't give away what happens. You probably know a little bit because of The Talented Mr. Ripley, but
Yeah.
oh my gosh, man! Like, yeah. You need to watch Purple Noon. We need to cover Purple Noon on this podcast. It's a very impressive film.
Austin, I know that you feel like they just had decent pacing throughout, but are there any kind of editing highlights, or do you feel like with this film it follows a very traditional trope when it came to like modern pictures, action films?
I think the sound had more.
Oh, that's good.
Can you talk a little bit about that?
I did know
That's really good.
I don't
noticed.
have like expertise to talk about it, but I think the sound stood out more than the actual
Absolutely.
editing.
There was a
We
couple-
As far
talked
as-
about like the bullet,
Yeah,
the gunshot that was delayed. You know, that was a good.
Oh, I like that.
a lot of the sound mixing and Foley was really good on it.
yeah,
And
for sure. I agree.
There was a really good sound of the switch hitting her. I like that part.
Spanking
Stripe
her,
your legs.
I just, oh my
So
god,
old school.
that scene was so like.
I asked you, I was like, what's worse, this scene or the mud scene and There Will Be Blood? Like,
Oh
which
no,
was-
I think I love the mud scene in There Will Be Blood for like the fact that after he's beating him, he just like plays with him. He's like, come here, yeah, like he slaps him around a little bit. But in this one, it's like, oh, you don't know how to deal with a little girl? I know how to deal with a little girl. Come here, and like rips her off the
Oh,
horse.
but even again, contextually, right? Like when he first like wakes her up and shit, and he's like, "Yeah, you know, you got to go back home or whatever," and he says, "You're a little girl. You don't know your place. I almost was tempted to steal a kiss from you, and like have my way with you."
Damn,
It's like, that's the old west,
That's
man.
the old west
Fucking
for sure.
idea.
Yeah, no, and I mean, he was just so on part for the times, being like, "This is how you deal with children,"
I'm a
and then just
man.
like, "Oh, you just need a good spanking," and then the fact that he's just spanking this child, and Jeff
This
Bridges is like,
14-year-old
"Yeah," it's
child.
like, "Yep."
I should probably stop this.
Anyway,
This how we do
she's
it.
still paying me, right? And then like just goes back to smoking a cigarette. Like, oh man,
That's good.
it's good. I think this film has a lot going for it.
Yeah.
I think again, it's a good western.
Where does it lie on your Coen Brothers list, though?
Oh man,
wonder.
pretty
Man.
bottom.
I
yeah.
figured.
I because the other pieces I've seen, I feel like have a lot more to explore.
Oh, okay.
I feel like even something that you don't rate very high, but like The Big Lebowski, I feel like there's a lot of like unique characters that you wouldn't
Sure.
really see, and they're more
Definitely.
expanded
Don't
upon.
say sure. Like, I mean, it
No,
could be.
they
no,
are.
but-
They
but-
are unique characters,
are.
but what are they doing?
Yeah, I think the only
It's a film about nothing.
Dude, Seinfeld was about nothing, and look at
Yeah,
Seinfeld.
yeah.
but like this
You're
one.
comparing it to Seinfeld.
Seinfeld is the greatest show ever fucking exists.
Yeah, comedically, sure, but as a yeah.
Yeah. Well, like with this one, the only real unique, different character that I'm pretty sure just came from like the source material, didn't do a whole lot for anything was the Medicine Man.
that was just fun.
Yeah, that's just like that fun, random, like. So I
It's
got this
such-
body who I'm gonna practice on. Do you guys
It's
need
such a
anything?
Coen Brothers
Yeah.
character.
And they always have that in their films. They always have that random
quirky
character that
thing.
just kind of pops in to just kind of like throw
the
off
play.
the equilibrium and then leaves and then has
I feel like that guy. I saw something with Theo Von recently where like he's talking to a guitarist. I don't really know the guy's name, but he's like they're seeing an old video, and it's like this guy when he was younger playing the guitar, and like he said this video went viral recently because of the guy that's standing next to me. And it's just some random dude like with a cigarette in his mouth, and he's like, we were all tripping on shrooms, and this guy they call him like Barefoot Dan or something, and people, you should see the comments. It went viral because people in their comments are like, oh, this guy was just like a side quest character. You know what I mean? Like he looks like a side quest character, just like dancing in them, and that's how this Doctor Man felt.
Yeah.
Like he's
Yeah.
the side quest character of Red Dead Redemption.
yeah, like
NPC
you could have really followed him and been like, "What's your story?" Like, dude,
Where you going next?
Yeah, and he's like, "I got this bear pelt. If you need anything," and
I'm
you,
a dentist, but I'm also a practicing
And the-
doctor and veterinarian. Like, it's
the
just
fact that he was also like, "You guys need some medical attention. I gotcha,"
But he's also like, and the last thing he says fucking gets me. He's like, I took all of his teeth. I'll entertain a bargain if you wanted the rest of them.
I just feel, I feel like in every other film I've seen of the Coen Brothers thus far, they really expand upon these very unique characters,
Yeah.
and there's a lot to them. And I mean, each of the characters I really want to explore more into.
I
this
love,
one because
I love
it's so
the seller,
yeah.
the guy who sells her the ponies back or whatever,
Yeah.
buys the ponies back.
Those are fun
Those
characters.
are great.
But
moments.
something like Hail Caesar, all the characters that are in there, or something like I have a soft spot for what is it called?
Serious
A
Man.
Serious Man. That when
yeah,
you look
it was
at those
fun.
characters, I mean, not only are they unique, but they feel again real, and it's a recontextualization of that whole religious atmosphere.
I wonder when I watch more Coen Brothers, I think a little more about how these characters influence the world that's going to be left up for interpretation, and I feel like they've gotten stronger and stronger at that. Granted, like I feel like that's why I'm so nervous to watch No Country for Old Men.
You still haven't watched
I
it.
still haven't seen it. And to be fair, it's also based on amazing source material. Cormac McCarthy wrote that book and wasn't a fucking amazing author.
I still
Yeah.
want to watch the Tragedy of Macbeth. I feel
Right.
like
I haven't seen
see how they've matured
Yeah,
because that
well,
one.
he right. I mean, they split up at
Yeah,
that point.
well,
but no, I agree. I'm just curious because when I think about A Serious Man, I think about the tornado. You know, I don't really think about the characters as much as I think about life's a shit bag and it's not going to matter in the end, so don't sweat it too much. That's what the moral of the story was for me, is like he sweated it. He was going through a bunch of shit and there was thing after thing and it sucked, and then it didn't matter anyways in the end because everybody was going to die. So,
Yeah.
that's my takeaway from A Serious Man. And those are the Coen Brothers films where I take away the most, like Hell Caesar. It's like, that's Hollywood, kid, and he's a fixer, and that's what happens in the end.
I also like that in Hail Caesar, which we'll definitely talk about later on.
for sure.
The biggest issue going on with that fixer character is just that he's trying to quit smoking, and like his wife he doesn't want his wife to catch him. Like that's it. That's the only major challenge that guy
played
has.
by Josh Brolin, by the way. I mean,
Yeah,
very great. By
they
Josh
obviously
Brolin,
saw something in him to bring him back in.
for sure.
I don't know. I think,
But this would rate low, and I understand why it would rate low in your. It would rate relatively low on my list too.
I also feel like as far as westerns, seeing some other films, other western films that have really pushed the genre,
Yeah.
ask a lot of questions,
Yeah.
and there was something we read recently. I think you even brought it up on the first episode, where the definition of a western is it takes place during a period of change.
Yeah. Manifest destiny,
Manifest
how
Destiny, and
far
all that.
west can we go,
And this
what can
one
we
was
expect?
following like maybe more of the tropes of like the searchers and
Yeah.
trying to go and like hunt somebody down.
There's a great-
and following like what's righteous.
There's a great line that he says. Well, they could have only gone. Bless you. They could have only gone one of two ways, either further west or up north.
They went up north.
They went up north. There's more to steal because the west hasn't been developed yet.
Yeah.
You know, the west is still open, and
Yeah.
again, that's
And
part of that.
It's taking from a lot of these Western hero archetypes and stories, and that's great. But I feel like it doesn't explore all that can be done in a Western film. You know,
I would
argue-
get no. You're right. I would
yeah.
get a little more. I would broaden the stroke and say that it doesn't. it doesn't do what a film can do. Like it doesn't live up to its fullest potential for story and character.
So why did you guys pick it?
You picked it.
I think it's a good film.
It is a good film,
it is.
and especially when we're talking
Do
about
I need
westerns.
to pull up the last part of the last
That's what I told him. I was like, we have
You
proof.
ain't gotta pull up any.
No, but I do think that as far as westerns go, it needs to be in the conversation. And by the way, it's not just up to us. It's Academy Award winning film. It's listed on the 1,001 films before you should watch before you die. Roger Ebert. This was one of the last films that Roger Ebert ever reviewed before he died.
Oh wow!
Gave it 3.5 out of 4 stars. And by the way, he wasn't the biggest fan of the Coen Brothers, so that speaks volumes. Like when it came to Raising Arizona, he like shat all over it. He thought it was terrible.
What?
So
And
like,
I think that comes down to the fact that when you do look at this, there's so much life in all the characters, and they just know how to write really, really good characters.
absolutely.
That's my biggest takeaway of the Coen Brothers
Yeah.
is that you can give them any kind of character in any situation, and they really just they write it out where
I think that
they're so individualistic.
I think a lot about that when I think about
Unbelievable.
Burn After Reading.
Have you seen
Those were good
No, I haven't seen it.
characters. The plot was shit, but
Yeah, okay,
those
yeah.
were good
Well,
characters.
That's a good movie to say that for sure. The plot was shit, but the characters were good.
It's like the Coen Brothers' Inherent Vice. You know what I mean?
Ooh, I didn't like Inherent Vice.
Yeah, but I'm sure you loved Joaquin's character.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's their Inherent Vice. Don't say that. People pause watching. Inherent Vice is great. No, but yeah, most people will agree with you.
Yeah. I'm gonna still sit at my 8. I think definitely watch the film if you haven't.
Totally fair.
I think the Coens just have a really big soft spot for westerns. Cause I'm realizing how many characters or how many like wild western characters are like in a lot of their other films.
Like Sam Elliott in The Big Lebowski.
Yeah, or like in Hail Caesar, the like cowboy guy who has to go on a date. You know.
Yeah. That's great, man. The Coen Brothers really do have a voice.
Yeah,
that
for
at the
sure.
very least. Can
They're
be
auteurs,
said.
for
They
sure.
definitely are auteurs, and hopefully they're getting back together.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Is there?
I
any
am curious.
news?
I haven't seen any of their individual films. Ethan just came out with 2. You know, Joe. I don't know what he's doing. I think the last thing he did was the Macbeth thing.
Well, what's the one that they just filmed recently?
It was Ethan's.
Oh, it's for Ethan.
It was Ethan because he did the Runaway Dolls or whatever with
Yeah.
Margaret Qualley,
And
and he
then-
just did another with Margaret Qualley that's just his.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's just Ethan. Ethan's been a little more active, but he's been doing smaller scale pictures.
Yeah.
You know,
I think, you know,
where
again-
Joel did. I think Macbeth was for Apple. I think
It was for
Apple's
Apple.
one
It was
of
an Apple
first
exclusive,
thing.
very artistic,
Oh, yeah.
in its approach. Like, I think they're each just experimenting their own voice. You
for
know.
Sure. I hope they come back together when there's something to say. You know, when they find the
Yeah,
Yeah.
they don't have to come back, like get together back, but just like come back for one.
They've
night.
they've earned their stripes, man. They've
Exactly.
earned more than their stripes to do whatever they want. Next week, we'll be talking about
Wrapping up Western Month.
wrapping up Western Month with
The
Austin's
sun will
pick.
be setting.
The sun will be set. That's good. Hell or High Water.
Never seen it.
Featuring Jeff Bridges and James T. Kirk.
Jeff Bridges
No,
again.
it's not.
Yeah, it is.
Well, yeah, you're right. James T. Kirk.
Yeah.
Who's James T. Kirk's character?
James T. Kirk.
Where?
Where? Who?
James T. Kirk.
Where?
It's fine.
Oh, stupid Star Trek. Right.
Star Trek's not stupid.
Me.
I actually like the film.
I actually do. You know why though, right?
Why?
Fucking Simon Pegg wrote it.
Oh, and he starred in it too,
And
right?
J.J. Abrams directed it.
Oh, that's
wrote it?
why.
He co-wrote it.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, Chris Pine's great. Yeah. Anyways, we're gonna be talking about David Mackenzie's neo-western, contemporary western, crime thriller western. It's a lot, man. It's a really good
Yeah.
fucking picture, man. It's a Hell or High Water. Yeah, I think Austin and I, since we've seen this picture, we've like fucking fallen in love with it. I also haven't seen it in a little while, so
You
I
guys
wonder
have
if it's
been praising it. So
Can you open up Chris Pine and see if he's done anything with his
Yeah,
life?
he just did like Dungeons and Dragons. He just did.
Like I said, has he done anything?
I saw the.
I like Dungeons and Dragons. Fuck you. I actually
He did-
enjoyed it.
It was
Like,
he
fun.
did
It was
Beach Bum.
fun.
Have you
Oh,
seen
he was in Wish.
Beach Bum. Beach Bum. Have you seen that one?
Beach Bum? No.
BMW USA.
Don't
Oh,
worry,
Pullman.
darling. I forgot he was in Don't
Pullman,
Worry,
my
darling.
bad.
Oh man.
Don't Worry, darling's Olivia Wilde's thing.
Has he won anything? He was in
No,
Robot
definitely
Chicken.
not. He's a movie star. He's not an actor.
Damn.
Although on Hell or High Water, he's fucking good.
Is Jake Gyllenhaal a star, movie star?
No. You know
Castro?
why? You know why? Because of Brokeback fucking Mountain, Castro. That's why he's an actor.
Oh, now I'm 50.
Castro, where do you want to be on that line? Do you want to be a movie star or do you want to be an actor?
I want to be an actor, bro.
Boom.
Oh yeah, dude.
Nah, I want to be a movie star.
Oh, shit. I forgot Taylor Sheridan wrote this shit, dude. I'm going to see if I can get him on the show.
Yeah.
Drew knows him.
Really?
He lives in Dallas and shit. Yeah. Taylor Sheridan wrote this thing, man. He created Yellowstone and 1823 and all the shows.
Is he Liberty Bibbity guy?
I don't think so.
No, dude. That's an actor that's just dumb.
Yeah. He created Tulsa King with Stallone.
No, you worked on the show that he's created.
Yeah,
You wrote-
Lioness.
Oh, shit.
That's Taylor Sheridan thing.
Oh, my
That's why
God.
they shot in Texas. He's a big proponent of shooting in Texas.
He looks familiar.
Yeah,
Most
Tulsa
of his
King?
he fucking wrote Wind River, dude. Have you guys seen Wind River?
Oh, with
such a
Jeremy?
good picture. He wrote Sicario. Yeah, man, he wrote both Sicarios. But yeah, Taylor Sheridan, man, he's up there. And again, he's a big proponent of shooting in Texas. His offices are located in Fort Worth.
Yeah, you could tell.
Yeah, like he wants to shoot in Texas and keep shooting in Texas.
Tulsa King.
Yeah. So, anyways, Taylor Sheridan, he wrote the script for Hell or High Water. We'll be covering that film.
Wow.
To close out Western month. After that, we get into Spooky month, right?
There
Yep.
we go. I'm excited for
I think we
Halloween.
picked some of our films.
We're
So
just
some of the
doing
films we're going to cover
Beetlejuice
is
1
like
and 2.
Rosemary's Baby, the Evil Dead, right? Evil Dead? You picked Evil Dead?
Nah, I was gonna put Dawn of the Dead, but nah.
Dawn of the Dead. I think Eric picked Evil Dead.
Evil Dead. Okay.
Yeah, and then you know where you picked it?
I remember I picked something good. Oh, I picked I picked Hereditary.
Oh, you picked
Oh
Hereditary.
yeah. You can't go wrong with
Yeah,
So-
yeah,
oh man,
yeah.
Hereditary is an interesting cousin of Rosemary's Baby, I think.
Yeah, no, I yeah.
Have you seen? Has anybody seen Rosemary's
that.
Baby? I know you have.
No.
I saw a clip that it's something totally different. Like I thought it was like a
They
baby
just
that's
created a show. They just created a show of The Apartment. It's a prequel series.
So it's not a
that
baby.
this didn't start with them. They weren't the first tenants of that apartment. So what else happened? That's what the series is. It's going to be on Paramount Plus.
Yes, yeah. I kind of
Shameless
read something
plug.
about it.
Hereditary.
Oh, I
Dawn
was
of the
between
Dead.
Rosemary's Baby and The Exorcist.
Ooh.
Nah, Rosemary's Baby.
Yeah.
Remember baby. I
Hey,
want
you can
remember
pick The Exorcist.
baby.
1970s, like fucking shattered, but
'cause
people were so scared to screen it in the 70s.
Because I've seen it. I haven't seen the other one.
Okay, that's
I
fine.
haven't
Well, I'm
s-
gonna pick Rosemary's Baby for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
And then
Remember Baby.
Austin gave his pick to Eric, and
Double
Eric has
gangster.
picked The Evil Dead. So, you were talking about 28 Days Later.
Yes, because Dawn of the Dead is more cool than horror.
I love Dawn of
That's
the
my
Dead.
tradition every October. Just give it to Eric.
Just give it to Eric.
Just give it to Eric.
Dawn of the Dead is Greg Romero. Greg Romero.
How
Greg,
interesting.
Who directed that one?
Is it Greg Romero?
Yeah,
I'm not getting that name right. I know I'm not getting that name right.
Greg Sestero?
Romero,
Alfa Romero?
George Romero? George Romero.
George Romano.
George A. Romero.
Ray Romano.
Who did Dawn
Ray
of the Dead?
Romano.
Google it. It's
do you
no.
always yell
I'm
at
thinking
me?
of like Night of the Living Dead.
By the way,
Yeah, no,
Living Dead.
interesting
Why do you always
preview.
yell at me though?
Interesting preview.
Zack Snyder.
Zack Snyder. I knew it was too cool to be cool.
Too cool to be
George Romero.
cool.
And it was George Romero. He wrote it
He wrote it, right? I don't
because
know.
he wrote Night of the Living Dead. Night of the Living Dead is fucking awesome.
I need
man.
those glasses.
Chuck has them.
No.
Oh, yeah, he does.
It's kind of.
Yeah, so no, I might change mine. Cause,
Okay.
yeah.
We'll figure it out. We'll see. Anyway,
And
Spooky
it's-
Month. Let us know if you guys have any recommendations.
True.
Small
Halloween
preview
fanatics out
also.
there.
Can we talk about November? Just a
Do you
preview.
remember?
The 21st night of November.
What is it,
That's
War
we're
Month?
actually filming on that night.
Oh, my
doing
God.
War Month?
Oh man. we're
Yeah,
doing
what an
War Month.
interesting thing. Yeah, so after we do our spooky month, and everybody's in a good mood because of Halloween, then we're going to go into the real horrors of War Month, which is an interesting
This was
pick
a
for
special
Thanksgiving.
request. It was
No,
a
it's
special
actually-
request.
Yeah, you
A
know.
special request.
After Thanksgiving
Austin's dad asked us
pilgrims.
to do the outpost, so we have the outpost listed. We might do Inglourious Bastards or Full Metal Jacket, All Quiet on the Western Front. Which
I
one?
might change that.
The original or the new?
Oh, not the original. I was going to do the new Academy Award winning one, but
Yeah.
one that I've wanted to do for ages is Come and See.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
I'm between 3 right now, so you guys are gonna have to help me pick.
Yeah. but
Apocalypse Now is the one
Outpost.
I'm leaning the most.
I would do
But
Apocalypse Now.
Ashes and Diamonds is Polish fucking film that's amazing. And then come on, now, how are we not going to talk about Saving Private Ryan?
I've never seen it.
That's the.
You've never seen
What?
Saving Private Ryan? Shame on Jimmy.
Dude, Vin Diesel comes
He
out.
never showed you.
It's like,
That's
what
the ultimate
fuck?
dad flick, man.
We should do Saving Private Ryan and have Jimmy come be a special guest.
They'd be like, "It was
That's it.
crazy."
We should have Jimmy, your dad. We're out of the question. We don't have dads.
Oh, like
What about that Apocalypse Now?
we'll do like
also?
what we did
no,
for
like my
April.
dad probably. Nah, he probably does love Saving Private Ryan. It's such a dad flick, man. But it's Spielberg at his peak.
Oh
It's
yeah,
good, it's
I mean
good, yeah,
everybody
it's-
always references the opening scene.
Oh, dude, that. People,
And then
there
he
was
got-
PTSD and shit.
He got like an award from like wasn't it like the Veteran Society or something like that for making
No,
like
the Veteran Society actually walked out of the film because of how real
Realistic.
it was. They
Wow.
left. They would walk out of the theaters.
Oh, that's
It was,
pretty good. That's
traumatizing and shit.
actually
No, but I
good.
heard that like they honored him for creating the most accurate depiction
Oh, wow.
of like yeah, it was something like that where it was like he created the most honest depiction of what that was.
That's cool. War month, November, and then Christmas month in December. And
Yeah, so we can lighten the mood after
Yeah, guys, I feel the need to say this, and then we'll wrap up the podcast.
Need
with
for
this.
Speed?
We're gonna have to. We might have to figure out a different situation if we want to do live podcasts. There's gonna be a lot of changes going through Aaron and George's, and we love them and we support them.
and they're still open, so
and
keep
they're
going.
still open, so go support them as much as you possibly can. But there's gonna be a lot of changes coming, and until kind of those changes get settled, we can't do a live podcast from there. And that's neither here nor there. We're good with them. They're good with
Yeah.
us. Everything's cool. We love
Keep
them.
supporting
again.
Aaron and George's.
But if we want to continue to do the live podcasting, we might have to find a different venue, at least for the time being. So just be patient with us. We'll figure that part out somewhere down the line. Maybe we'll
Yeah.
kick that off like early next year or something.
Yeah.
But
Also, January's recommendation month.
January is taking requests month. Yeah, so we're
Westorama is what
solely
we're
mostly
calling
because
it.
of my wife and because she has some requests that we got to cover.
Yeah.
And Bones and
Oh.
I don't want to be
Meg
boneless.
has one.
Meg has one.
Yeah.
What is she?
Crybaby.
Oh, I'd love to do Crybaby. I love
Yeah.
Crybaby. John Waters. We've never done a John Waters picture.
Yeah.
John Aguas?
Juan Aguas.
Juan Aguas.
Aguitas.
Anyway,
Thank you for tuning into the WatchTower Film Podcast. Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Neuter or spay your pets.
I love you guys.
tell somebody you love him.
Out in the west of the town
Lola,
of El
I love you.
Paso. Oh.
Aw.